So this is Think More. I identify as not racist, and my gender pronouns are doesn't matter and who cares. Alright, today I'm going to talk about the rioters, and my theory on who they really actually are. Truth is, we don't really know. I mean, there's a rumor that says, well, not a rumor, it's just, they're basically saying that they're basically paid by George Soros to go out there and basically wreak havoc and riot and stuff like that. Create a bunch of controversy, get people talking, get the news to cover stuff and certain narrative, get the internet to talk. It's basically they're just there to get the people to argue, basically distract people. And a lot of times, when a government or a corporation or elites, when they do things, they usually use certain stories to distract you. So a lot of times when they attack countries, they will throw something out there like a Bill Cosby trial. They'll throw that out there. Michael Jackson trial. They'll throw it out there. And most people like entertainment. So, and then there's like a small group of people that really care about the facts and serious subjects. But most of the time, people are pretty, they come home from work. You're stressed out. You want to see entertainment. You don't really want to see no facts. So you get easily distracted by Bill Cosby trial. And a lot of people don't know. Which I just found out that Bill Cosby is he won the trial. He was found innocent of all wrongdoing, and it just happened. He was just found not guilty, and nobody paid attention. Nobody even cared. It just moved on to something else. But during that time, a lot of stuff was happening with the government, with the Trump, and with Hillary. There's a lot of distractions. So we put all the energy to Bill Cosby, and then when the trial occurred, and then as soon as Hillary and Trump was going on, we forgot all about Bill Cosby. We didn't even care no more. So the riots, they're basically for people who say that. Let's see, that C-SPAN is entertainment for smart people, and then CNN is like entertainment for well, C-SPAN is just facts. They're just telling you facts, and then CNN is supposed to be, or Fox is supposed to be, entertainment for smart people. So it's the people who really care about politics, but they still want drama. They still want that drama. So people are saying that most of these protesters, they gotta be getting paid. There's just no way they're not. It's just like, because Obama did his ban and there was no protest. If there was, I didn't see it. And if it was, and it wasn't televised. So, and then the Women's March, there's marches and rallies that go on all the time, but they never get never been put on TV because nobody cares. They're not entertaining enough. So people look at the rioters and thinking, okay, these people got to be getting paid because they keep showing up. They show up at everything. They show up at anybody with conservative viewpoint. They just show up, and anywhere they need to spout their hate or spout their propaganda, they show up. So at every rally or protest, I don't know, these rioters seem to be showing up, and they usually have all black on. And now you got this new thing called Antifa, Anti-Fascists. If you know a thing about fascism, the people who are the fascists, they usually start out saying that they're anti-fascists. That's how they can basically force their hate on you, because they'll act like they're innocent, that you're actually the fascist, but they're But they're actually the fascists by saying they use their we're anti-evil, we're the good ones, and they use that to be the real fascists. So if the riots are the distractions, then what is really going on? But my theory is, I think that these people are rioting. I think these are kids of the elites. And if you know anything about, see, elites back in the day, they used to be the gangsters, they used to be the mobsters, they used to be the the real racists. They were tough guys, and they would groom their kids too to be tough guys. They would bring they would wait till their kids about 15 to really groom them into the lifestyle. And they'll groom their daughters into it and their sons. And these are mobster type guys. They were elite. They were some crazy dudes, and they were tough guys. And they were tough, and their kids were tough. But nowadays, because of technology and internet and television and all that stuff, all these outside influences, the rich people's kids, they're not being you can't really influence them like you used to. But now, because of technology and everything, kids, they have access to internet 24/7, entertainment 24/7, television 24/7, culture 24/7. They have access to this stuff 24/7. So if I'm an elite and I'm trying to groom my kid to be like me, I can't, because even if I teach him to be like me, he still, once he goes out in the world, he's bringing his phone with him. So he has access to entertainment 24/7. So he's getting brainwashed all day. And you can't really control it unless you take his phone away. But his friend might got a phone. So you basically just got to be watching your kid and make sure that he's being groomed to do what he want him to do. So my theory is, these are actually rich parents, the elite kids out there rioting. And if you confronted any of these rioters, they're usually kind of weak. And just by looking at them, you can tell they're either middle class or they're upper class, or they must be some rich kids. You can tell that they gotta be like really privileged, entitled looking people. They look like the type. And if you punk one of these people, you can tell they back down real fast. So my theory is that these are the elite kids, and they're telling them to go out there because they're really trying to toughen them up, and then give them a purpose, give them some life experience. So it's almost like it's basically like, but then again, it might be actually parents who are knowing that their kids are doing this because they're trying to toughen them up. It could be anybody's kids, because white kids are the most privileged people on the planet. When we say whites, because whites are usually protected and put up on a pedestal and all this craziness. So if whites are being put up on a pedestal, that means they're the weakest. If they're always being protected, that means they're the weakest. So if I had a kid and I knew he's weak, and I know I need to toughen him up, then I'm going to have him go out there and see some stuff. I'm going to have him go out, riot, have some experiences, and toughen them up. I'm trying to toughen them up. If you know anything about babies, what does it say? They say that if you want to teach your kid how to swim, you just throw him in the pool, and then out of panic he'll learn how to swim. That's how they used to teach kids how to babies or kids how to swim. Is they would take the baby and they'll throw it in the pool, and because of fear, because of panic, you would have to stay alive, and that's how you learn how to swim. It was the most barbaric thing ever, but that's how they would learn how to swim. And it's the same reason why you would want your kid to go to the Army, because you're trying to teach him discipline. You're trying to, so he can learn respect and learn, just basically toughen him up. So my theory is that these rioters are basically kids that are weak. And these parents are telling their kids to go out there and they're basically just trying to toughen them up. Because they're going out there throwing stuff, you know, they have to confront people, they have to defend themselves, they have to learn how to fight, so they have to be tough. They're getting arrested. If you know anything about being arrested, that experience is eye-opening right there, just being arrested. You know, a lot of kids, you know, snap out of it just as soon as they, you know, get arrested. So that would toughen them up right there, would put them in jail, putting a person in jail. That's probably why they say, that's how you know it's kind of staged. When rioters go down there, or protesters go down there, usually what end up happening is that they get arrested. That's part of the script. You're supposed to get arrested. So do everything you can to get arrested. So just like Scare Straight, Scare Straight usually don't work, but just like Scare Straight, Scare Straight, where they take their kids to like a prison, and they got the prisoners yelling at them in the face and cussing them out, talking about how what's going to happen when they get in jail, because they're trying to scare them, they're trying to toughen them up. It usually don't work, but you do whatever you have to do to toughen your kids up, because yeah, people are getting weaker, and rich kids are getting weaker too, because back in the day, rich kids, they were tough. Like Prince Charles, he sent his sons to the military because he wanted to toughen them up, and because of that, yeah, they're not weak. They toughed them up, and that's what we used to do. The elites used to do. Regular people did that. Send their kids to the army. Put them in the Boy Scouts or something. Throw them in the pool. Learn how to swim quick, because you don't want to drown. So you do same thing with women. You get them married fast. Women back in the day used to get married fast, because you want the mothers to be young, because they need to have enough energy to raise a child, because raising a child is a lot of work. So it would happen at an early age, and it would teach them responsibility. The reason why you give girls dolls is because you're trying to teach the daughter how to raise a baby. That's the reason why you give her dolls. That's why girls play with dolls. That's why naturally girls will play with dolls, because they know eventually they're going to be mothers. So that's why you're playing with dolls. So nowadays, women are not told to be mothers. There's a half a population that knows you got to do this. Other half is not being told this, and that's why women are emotional, but they're not really supposed to be this emotional, mostly unstable. They're not supposed to be this emotional. So boys need to be taught to be tougher, and that's not what's happening. There's a half a population that's not being taught to be tough, and take charge and protect. And then women are not being taught to be mothers. They're being taught to be like men, and you can't do that. The civilization ain't gonna go down right. But the elites, yeah, they're starting some stuff, but for their kids to be ruling the next generation, they're trying to toughen them up too. They need to toughen them up, because they're gonna be ruling the next generation. And the same thing as a working class need to toughen their kids up. Elites got to do it too. So yeah. So that's my theory on the rioters. They might be getting paid. I don't know, but it would probably make more sense that these are probably just like weak kids, and their parents just trying to toughen them up. give them some life experiences. But that's it. Just remember to like and subscribe and comment, and I'll see you next time.